Mr. Mattingly, David Teitelbaum with South Florida Insider. It's a pleasure meeting you. Like I said, I grew up watching you. My dad's favorite player. So, what's it like going from player to manager? You know?
Well, I went player to coach, which was definitely helpful. Straight to the manager would have been really rough. But I think for me, the good thing was that I was completely out of the game for 5 years, where you get that separation from the time you were a player to kind of go into the dark side, right, and actually becoming a coach, where you got to do some things. So you have to have that separation, and I think you find out you have to have the right mentality, I think, as a coach.
Well, that's actually a good question. The Marlins. Every couple of years, guys get traded away. JT just got traded away, which was your all-star. How's it feel to start over again with new players? Like, how do you do that? It's like, I just finally get this core group and they trade them away.
Well, this is I know that's been part of the history of the organization, but I think we have to understand who we are now and really look at last year as the first year of what we're doing. Because we have Derek in place, Mr. Sherman, new ownership, a new direction. And basically, if you really paid attention to what Derek has said about the way he wants to build the organization, that we're going to build this thing from the bottom up. We're going to do it through the system. We're going to do it through the draft. We're going to do it through development. We're going to stay with it. We're not going to change course. And that's the one, I think, area that's been a little bit overplayed, that it's happened again. It hasn't happened with this group. And I think if we give them an opportunity, I think they're going to show that consistency within the community, within what we're doing on the field and behind the scenes. But I think you really see a true effort by our group to touch our fans, touch the community, be involved, knowing we have to be good partners with the people that are coming to our games, the people that are supporting us. So this is a whole new thing, and I think it's going to be great.
A question I had is, I'm a huge Jeter fan, huge Derek Jeter fan. He came up when you were still playing at the time.
Right.
Is it kind of weird now that he's kind of your boss? He walks in, he's like, all right, well, now I'm part owner, so here it is.
It's a little different, but it hasn't been uncomfortable at all.
Gotcha.
I think, there's a lot of... I met Derek when he very first come into spring camp, and then he was just starting to touch the big leagues when I was getting ready to retire. Was able to help, coach. When I was coaching there in New York, he was there. The one thing about Derek, you want to be involved because you trust him, and wherever he's been, he's won. And you trust Derek what he's telling you because he's consistent and he doesn't back off. He's basically, again, he's said what we're going to do, and he's sticking to his guns.
How come you don't coach with a mustache?
It's all white.
Come on, man. White. You were Donnie Baseball. You're the mustache.
It's
wear
all
the mustache.
White, dude. I look like I'm 100.
At least you got hair.
It's a young man's game.
You got hair at least. That's good.
Barely.
Right,
it's getting thin.
So one last question: are you excited this year? You guys ready? Do you have anyone that you think that's gonna be our standout player from here on out? Do you have that one guy yet?
I don't know about that. I think we're building layers of talent right now, and I think we're going to be very proud of our pitching the way it is. I think our pitching right now is a little bit ahead of our position players. You feel like you have layers and layers, kind of from at the big league, guys that are touching the big leagues, guys that are almost to the big leagues, guys are in AAA, guys are in AA, guys coming in A-ball. There's layers of that good pitching coming, which is going to create a great competition for us. To be able to guys know that if you don't perform, the next guy's coming.
Step right up.
I think that's always good for guys. I think that need to get those layers built in. We have some really good young players in the organization. We got some guys that are getting ready they're bouncing at AAA this year. Monte Harrison, Hassan Diaz, that I think are going to be some good players, but you're going to make sure we have to develop them properly.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time.